Welcome back to Selling the Burbs. My name is Angie Shape with Keller Williams Realty and the Sold by Shape team. And today we are going to discuss the home buying process and what that process looks like each step of the way. So be sure to stay until the end to make sure you don't miss any of those steps. And we're getting started right now. So congratulations, you have decided that you are ready to buy a home, and you are going to need a real estate professional to help you during this process. So when hiring a real estate professional, it is important for you to know that not all real estate agents are realtors. So a realtor is a licensed real estate agent in the state in which you're looking to purchase that has joined a board of realtors and is held to a higher standard. As a realtor, we are held to an extensive code of ethics which helps protect you, the buyer, during this process. National Association of Realtors states that only about 50% of all licensed agents are actually realtors. So be sure when you are out looking and interviewing real estate agents, real estate professionals, that you make sure that they are an active member of a local board. This way you know that you are getting a realtor who is held to a higher standard and a code of ethics so that they are protecting your best interest. So the next step in the process is getting a lender in your pre-qualification letter so that you're ready to go out and purchase that home. So your realtor will be able to give you the names of 2 or 3 local lenders that can help you during this process. You may have someone that you prefer to work with. Realtors often like to work with lenders that they know that they can track down, that they can communicate with on a weekend. That's very important. So keep that in mind. Maybe at least entertain an option that your realtor provides for you. Now, there are pre-qualifications and pre-approvals during this process. Pre-qualification is very much just a light look at what you have going on. They are not going to actually pull credit. They are going to have a conversation with you about your income, about your debts, and what that ratio looks like to help kind of give you a ballpark estimate of the price home that you can shop for. A pre-approval is going to involve a loan application. They are going to pull your credit, and it is going to be a more firm look at what you will be able to afford. And that pre-approval letter then is submitted to your realtor so that she or he has that on file for when you go out to purchase your home. In this current market, it is essential to have a pre-approval letter when you submit your offer. So be sure to shop for that local lender and get them to answer all of the questions that you have. And like I say, if you need names of lenders, your realtor will be happy to provide you with the name of 2 or 3 lenders that you can look for. So you're also going to want to establish a timeline for when you need to be in your home, okay? So let's say you have a lease, or you know that you want to be in a new house by the time school starts. So the best way to calculate when the process needs to get started is by working backwards from that time that you know that you want to be in the home. And you can pretty much calculate 30 days from the time that you go binding on a contract to the time that you close. Yes, it can be quicker or it can be longer depending on the lender that you use. And so, but a 30-day time frame is pretty average. So take that into consideration as well. And then in this current market where there are so many more buyers than there are homes to shop for, it could take you, 2 or 3 months of searching for a home before you actually find the home. It also may take 5 or 6 offers before you get the home that you are looking for. So you'll need to take that into consideration as well. So now we are 90 to 120 days. So that's 3 or 4 months prior to wanting to get into a home that you need to actually start the process. So think through all of that. Keep that in mind as you are determining when to start the search process. So now you have hired your realtor and your lender, and you have secured your pre-approval letter from the lender. And now it's time to start that search process. If you haven't already, you will have a buyer consultation with your realtor where you will discuss all of the things that you are looking for in your home. So everything from the number of bedrooms and baths to the size lot, whether you're looking for a single resident detached family home or maybe a townhome, whatever that looks like for you, you have discussed that with your realtor, and they are sending you homes that match that criteria, and you will determine which ones you want to go out and look at, and together you'll decide which homes you want to submit an offer on. Once you have found a home that you would like to submit an offer on, you and your realtor will determine the sales price, any closing costs that you wish to ask the seller to participate in, the closing date, the earnest money amount. You'll negotiate if there are any special stipulations that you would like for the seller to be aware of or that you are asking the seller for. And all of this will go into the purchase and sale agreement that you are submitting as an offer to the seller on the home that you have found. So just a couple of things to keep in mind during this process. One, there are so many more buyers in this market than there are sellers. So the likelihood is that you are going to be submitting several offers on homes. You likely will not get the first home that you put an offer on. I know that that can be disappointing, but it's where we are in the market. And so then you also need to consider, given the state of the market right now and the flurry of buyers in the market, what you are willing to do to get a house. So oftentimes that includes not asking for closing costs from the seller, shorter due diligence periods, maybe more in earnest money, things like that. These are all things that you will discuss with your realtor, what your comfort level and ability what your comfort level is in submitting the offer. And together you will make that decision and you will submit the offer along with your pre-approval letter. So congratulations, your offer has been accepted on the home of your dreams, and now we are going to enter into the home inspection period, what some call the escrow period. However many days that you have negotiated for due diligence, this is when you will hire an inspector and get that inspection done. Whatever inspections need to be done. Often it's the home inspection, it's termite, maybe you need somebody to come out and look at a foundation, but this is the time to get that done. If there are any major issues during the inspection period or the due diligence period, this is when you can come out of that contract without losing your earnest money. You need to plan on an inspection, and that being an additional expense. In our area, that's typically $400 to $600 that will be paid by you at the time of inspection. So now you have successfully negotiated the due diligence and inspection period, and moving forward, the lender will hire an appraiser to come out and get that appraisal done. This is an additional expense that you will incur, approximately $500 to have that appraisal done, to be sure that the home will appraise for the purchase price. Now, you may decide to make up an appraisal gap if the home doesn't appraise for the amount that the purchase price has been agreed upon. Then you can choose to either make up any difference there or a certain amount of difference, or you can at that point renegotiate and ask the seller to lower their purchase price. So closing is just around the corner, and you and your realtor are going to go on a final walkthrough of the home to make sure that everything is up to par and as expected in the home prior to you going to the closing table and signing those final documents to make you a homeowner. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it has been very beneficial to you and that you will check out some of our other videos in the link above. And as we are growing our YouTube channel, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and then hit that notification bell as well so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos on selling the burbs. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.